Champions League is back. It is the Tuesday, September 16, and the UEFA Champions League is back. And look, the demon in me is on the rise again. Champions League match days are back. It is knocking at the door. Which team is going to win and what are the odds? What are the match stats? We are going to have the detail, and it is the demon in me which is going to make all these predictions for you. The match day one of the Champions League. Hello guys, welcome back to another episode with RAMSAY, and it is the Champions League match day are back after 3 months. It is the match day one of the Champions League 2025-26 going to kick off. Which teams are going to win, what are the odds, and how are the match stats as well as the referees as well as these home and away fixtures of the teams going to be performing. We will be having the detailed predictions of all the matches of the match day one in this video. But where is that transfer money going to be spent? Because the billions of money which has been spent in the summer transfers this season, are the clubs going to perform, or the injuries are going to make a big toll out of the big teams? Or will it be like the previous season? Cut my dash into pieces. Sergio Aguero has no dash in him. Jokes apart, guys, this is the match day one, and without wasting any time, let us bring the fixtures over here. No denying the fact, it is the first match day which is going to be kick-off, and PSV Eindhoven, the Dutch team, is going to get against the likes of Union St. Gillois. It is Peter Bosz against the likes of Postcode Glory. This team is going to be making big, but without making any bad predictions into this, let us jump directly into the match arena. It is at the PSV Stadium, the home of Eindhoven, and Eindhoven against the likes of Union St. Gillois. Talking about the head-to-head performances of both these teams, it is PSV who has got a win against the likes of Union St. Gillois, and definitely it is Peter Bosz who is going to win this. And with our predictions, we are definitely going to give PSV Eindhoven a 2-0 win over Union St. Gillois. That is the thing we will be looking for in this fixture of the match day one, as the Champions League is going to be kicked off. And the second fixture, it is no denying the fact, it is one of the biggest fixtures. It is Athletic Club against the likes of Arsenal. But Athletic Club, talking about them, it is definitely the likes of Nico Williams, who is not present in the squad, and Ernesto Valverde's Athletic Club against the likes of Mikel Arteta's Arsenal. Athletic are not having the likes of Nico Williams in their squad, but Mikel Arteta is also having those injuries of Saliba, Odegaard, Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Jesus, Kai Havertz. It is something which is going to be the first big clash of the match day one tonight. And with all the things, Arsenal have never won the Champions League, but Mikel Arteta is determined to change this season with his eye on the prize. With the transfers he has been making, he has got Madueke, Gyökeres, Eze, Zubimendi, Merino. My goodness, Arteta has all the money spent in this, and definitely he will be making that. But in the friendlies talking about, it was some sort of a cup final which was played between Arsenal and Athletic Club this season in the month of August, and it was definitely Arsenal winning that 3-0. And in this also, we will give Arsenal the edge of 2-0 or a 3-1, the scoreline from our predictions into this game. The next game, it is Real Madrid. Hala Madrid. It is Real Madrid who are hosting Marseille, and Xabi Alonso with his first Real Madrid as the coach of this team at the Santiago Bernabeu. Kylian Mbappe has had a decorated career in winning the World Cup, but getting the Champions League remains one of the trophies which he is expecting. Ballon d'Or, whether he is away from it, we don't know that. It will be revealed in the later days of this month. But the transfers which Xabi Alonso has made in the table, he is doing in the La Liga, he has been performing. He has kept that undefeated streak continuing at Real Madrid, what he was doing at Leverkusen. The presence of Carreras, the presence of Matchday, Kylian Mbappe, Güler, Vinicius,
Real Madrid, this is a cakewalk for them, and against the likes of Roberto De Zerbi's Marseille, Olympique Marseille are going to be making that. They have got Aubameyang, it is the likes of Greenwood, it is the likes of Way, but I would definitely say Real Madrid will make it a 2-1 or 3-1 from our predictions into this fixture. No denying the fact, Real Madrid, it is a cakewalk from them. Benfica against the likes of Karabakh FK. My goodness, Bruno Lages, Benfica are up against the likes of Kurbanov's Karabakh FK in the past 10 years are having the sole manager of Kurbanov, but no denying the fact it is Milinkovic, Akunzade, the likes of Andrade, Zubi, these are the men who will be making that, but Benfica are having the likes of Pavlidis in their striking aspects, as well as at home they are having their goalkeeper, the likes of Trubin, to get past the goalkeeper of Benfica, that is Mr. Trubin. It will be an impossible task for Karabakh FK to be getting a single goal in this. And from our predictions straight into this, the rigid defense of Otamendi, the likes of Silva, Araujo, Dal, it will be Benfica making that big. Benfica will be making that big, and it will be a comfortable win for Benfica against the likes of Karabakh FK. From our predictions in this game, it will be a 2-0 or 3-0 straight in win for Benfica. The next big clash. Oh my goodness, just look at that. It is at Turin. Juventus, the old lady, up against the yellow wall, Borussia Dortmund. Igor Tudor being newly appointed with Juventus. Juventus are doing good in the Serie A this season, not getting those upsettings in the start of the season. And it is Niko Kovac also doing good in the Bundesliga. Juventus and Borussia Dortmund, talking about these two teams, it is Dortmund who hasn't registered a win against the likes of Juventus in the Champions League. And no denying the fact, this time, will Niko Kovac be making anything good into Turin? It will be a question, because the injuries of Pascal Gross, Emre Can, Schotterbeck, Nicolas Sule, Duran Ville, big injuries are there for Niko Kovac, and they have to travel from Germany to Italy, a distance of 2 hours, which they have to travel. But Dortmund, it will be a rigid defense. They will be playing with the 3-4-2-1, which Niko Kovac is making into this, and Juventus also with that 3-4-2-1. But it is Jonathan David, Yildiz, it is the likes of Koopmanias, Kalulu, Cambiaso, Thuram Hillian, as well as the Locatelli. Igor Tudor's men are getting a draw. From our predictions, no denying the fact, Juventus has been doing good. Niko Kovac has also made his team stand good, and both of these teams will be having a good fight at the Alliance. But at Turin, I think it will be the points which will be shared between Juventus and Borussia Dortmund. A prediction from my end will be a 1-1 or a 2-2, maximum of that, a 4 goals, which we can expect from both the sides. The next fixture talking about big is the clash between Tottenham and Villarreal. My goodness, Tottenham make their long-awaited return to the Champions League, and they are taking on Villarreal. Oh my goodness, Tottenham up against the likes of Villarreal, but Thomas Frank, the Premier League manager of the month from my side, is definitely going to bet big, because the Spurs with the likes of Xavi Simons, Richarlison, Kudus, in their attacks, they have got the reinforcements done this season. They have been making it good with the likes of Van de Ven, Romero, Pedro Porro, Spence on their defense. Spurs are definitely going to be making that, because this is at the Hotspur Stadium, and Villarreal, who are going to travel at England to be playing this, with the injuries which they are having of the likes of Moreno and the likes of Mikatouze. This is Marcelino Garcia's team against the likes of Thomas Frank. Tottenham Spurs are definitely having those advantages of playing in this game, and the Spurs are going to get a 2-0 or 3-0 or maybe a 1-2-1. The scoreline will be in favor of Thomas Frank's Tottenham Hotspur. Spurs are going to be making that big, no denying the fact. And the next picture we are going, it is Olympiacos as well as the likes of Paphos. My goodness, look at that. Olympiacos and Paphos are going to be making that, and from my side, I would just give this statement that Olympiacos are going to rarely lose at home, but Paphos dependents will find this tough. Paphos FC, the dependent of the Champions League this season, and it is the referee Istvan Kovacs who is going to be officiating this, but Olympiacos has never lost at home, and it will be a tough one for Paphos. But winning for Olympiacos at home will be a good one, but whether Paphos FC are going to get any sort of upsets to Olympiacos or not will be the watch to have. But from my predictions, it is definitely going to be Olympiacos who are going to be getting a win of 2-0 over here, definitely. The next picture on the line, it is Slavia Praha against the likes of Bodo Glimt. My goodness, both the pressing teams, very high energy, could cancel each other out. And from my predictions, it is Slavia Praha 1 or 2 goals, Bodo Glimt 1 or 2 goals. A draw and sharing of points between these two teams is what my prediction is for this game of the match day 1 of the Champions League. The next picture, Paris and Atalanta. My goodness, the Champions League reigning champions. Paris Saint-Germain up against the likes of Atlanta. What is that going to be? Atlanta are making it good under the reins of their new manager. It is Gasperini who has left Atlanta, but Lookman not available. Ederson, Scamacca, Michael Becker, Kolasinac, so many injuries for Atlanta. But Paris Saint-Germain are also having those injuries. It is Desire Doué, Kangin Lee, Kvaratskhelia, it is Lucas Beraldo, it is Dembele. But PSG will have that mentality over here, and I would say one thing into that PSG, this could be a chaos, this could be counters which will be just getting into the attacks, and a 1-goal margin maybe for win for PSG, a 2-1, a 3-2 scoreline. But Atlanta will definitely score into this because both the teams are depending on their counters, and Atlanta is well known for that. But whether they are going to be making that good at the Parc des Princes, at the home of PSG or not, will be the watch to have, because at Parc des Princes, will Atlanta be able to get that comfortable and getting those score lines enough to get those draw, or will PSG get a 1-goal lead? From our predictions, it is going to be PSG who are going to get a 1-goal lead, win margin, and taking all those 3 points away from here. That is what my predictions are for PSG. The next clash, my goodness, this is the clash we have been waiting for. Bayern Munich against the likes of Chelsea. What is that going to be? And a Spanish referee, it is Jose Maria Sanchez, the Spanish referee, being appointed for this game. Bayern against the likes of Chelsea. But I would say one thing over there. It is Jackson who will be showing his BBC. I know, you know what I mean to say over here by Nicholas Jackson, BBC, showing that to Chelsea. And Chelsea with that Jackson summer transfer saga at the Alliance. Bayern Munich are on a thumping form with the likes of Luis Diaz, Olise, Harry Kane, Jamal Musiala Bambi is not available, Alphonso Davies, Hiroki Ito, Rafael Guerrero, Wisdom Mike. But it is also the likes of Chelsea with the likes of Epedia Shele, Colville, Liam Delap, Lavia not available. But Chelsea will definitely struggle in this game. And from my predictions, it will be a 3-1 or 4-1 in favor of Bayern at home at the Alliance. The next fixture, we are going to be making that Liverpool. Red is the color, and Liverpool splashing more than 500 millions in the summer transfers and getting those last stoppage time winners in the Premier League and keeping that great winning streak under Arne Slot. This season, Arne Slot building a new mentality, but this time Slot against the likes of Diego Simeone, Atlético Madrid. But Madrid are having the injuries of Julian Alvarez. It is the likes of Robin Normand. It is the likes of Gimenez, Hanko, Alex Baena, Nicolas Gonzalez. Much of the injuries are for Atlético this season to be talking about. And especially for Atlético, Andy Robertson has fallen behind Kerkez. But Arne Slot, to be making that, he has to make a decision that whether it is going to be Kerkez or whether it is going to be Robertson who will be starting on those left backs. Frimpong is there, he will be making those availabilities for Slot. But Simeone against the likes of Slot will be a big clash which will be happening. But it is at the Anfield. I would say it will be a 2-0 win for Liverpool. Atlético, whether they will be scoring or not. But if Julian Alvarez, who is on a doubtful knee injury, whether he is going to make any presence in the pitch, it will be a good one for Atlético Madrid. But if Alvarez is not going to make to Anfield with the injury, then it will be definitely Liverpool winning it with a 2-1 or a 3-1 on the score line. The next big fixture of this clash, it is Ajax and Inter. My goodness, who could just forget that Champions League final between Ajax and Inter, which was happening in the late 1970s. But Ajax at their home of the Johan Cruyff Arena against Inter, who are having their new manager in the squad, will be definitely wanting to be making that big into it. But one thing into this, Inter, they have been making that good in the Serie A, but not that good enough because it is Juventus who are taking that lead. And it is Napoli who has also made it big. But Inter are at the 11th spot in the Serie A this season. They have played 3 matches. It is just 3 points which they have gathered. Inter were the finalist of the Champions League last season, but in this game, I would say it is Ajax at home will be a tough nut to crack for Inter, and the Italian defense, whether they will be going for those counters at times or not, but staying rigid and parking the bus, what Inter will be following. But if Ajax are going to get loose, they have been doing good in their domestic league. I would say it is the points which will be shared 1-1 will be the scoreline maximum which we can expect in this game, Ajax against the likes of Inter. The next big clash of this is it is Club Brugge and Monaco. My goodness, Club Brugge again in the Champions League, and it is Monaco again. Monaco has been getting those big. It is Paul Pogba's Monaco who will be making that. Paul Pogba, but he is some sort of a lack of fitness and maybe he is not available for this game. But Monaco has that capability of making that good against Club Brugge. It will be a straight win for Monaco from my side. And at Club Brugge, their home, I think Monaco will get it comfortable, a 2-1 or 3-2, but a 1-goal margin for Monaco, and Monaco will be making that goal. But Club Brugge, if they are not getting any goals, I don't think that they are be having those mentality to playing in the Champions League. So this fixture is up, and the next is Copenhagen against the likes of Leverkusen. My goodness, Copenhagen against the likes of Leverkusen, but Bayer Leverkusen have got their new manager, and Erik ten Hag has got that suspension. He has been just sacked, and Leverkusen with their new manager is definitely going to be making big. Leverkusen, no denying the fact they are doing good, and Casper Homeland, their new manager, is developing this team definitely good. And Patrick Schick, talking about him, is the man. Nathan Tillman, they will be making good, but there will be no chance for Copenhagen to be making that in the Champions League on the match day 1. Nothing. Leverkusen will get this victory definitely. The next fixture, it is Manchester City against the likes of Napoli. My goodness. Kevin De Bruyne up against the likes of Pep Guardiola. It is that revenge time. The camel money, the oil money is fading in. Or will it be the likes of Antonio Conte's Napoli? Will they be making that good? Because Manchester City, to be talking about them, they were at the 12th spot after those third match day, but getting a 3-0 win against the likes of Manchester United. Pep Guardiola is looking to get a revamp of his old Manchester City with those all new transfers which we have done. But Omar Marmoush is out, Ait Nuri is out, it is Ryan Cherki who is out, Kovacic is out, and John Stones is out. It is Foden who has outshined United, and Pep Guardiola has praised about him. But Erling Haaland and Foden, will they be good enough with the likes of Savino and Doku in the attacks against the likes of Napoli? Antonio Conte will not be sacrificing and giving any inches, because Pep Guardiola against the likes of Conte, it will be a big clash. And from my predictions, I would go for Napoli, the Serie A winners of the past season. Napoli are definitely going to make this big, and they will get past Manchester City with 2-0 or 3-1, maybe the scoreline in favor of Napoli from my predictions. That is what is for this big game, the clash of the Blues, Manchester City and Napoli. The next game, it is Frankfurt up against the likes of Galatasaray. Galatasaray are having the likes of much of the transfers being done, but Victor Osimhen is not available, Leroy Sané not available, but Galatasaray are having those big squad and they are capable of making that. But they are traveling to Frankfurt, to Germany, to be playing that. Will Galatasaray be having those big aspects to be talking into this game? Because Galatasaray, the Turkish team with the likes of Okan Buruk, their manager, look at that. The team which they are having, it is the likes of many players who have been brought in. It is the likes of Gurpus, it is Lemina who have been there, Leroy Sané is there, Yilmaz, Icardi is there. But there are some sort of aspects for Victor Osimhen that he has got a thigh injury, and Galatasaray won't be having the likes of Victor Osimhen. But Leroy Sané is there. He has been that bulldog of the Bundesliga, and with the likes of Frankfurt, he will be having that. But Frankfurt, no denying the fact, will not be leaving any edge at home. But then also for this game, I would give Galatasaray the advantage, and Frankfurt at home will definitely give that fight. But at the late stoppage time or close to those last 10 minutes of the play time, it will be Galatasaray who will be getting a 1-goal edge against the likes of Frankfurt. That is what my prediction is for in this game. But a draw is more which we can expect, but then also Galatasaray is having that edge over Frankfurt in this game. And the next fixture, it is Sporting CP. Oh my god, this Portuguese team with the likes of no Victor Gyökeres into that, no Ruben Amorim into that, but still in the Champions League, and they will be traveling 3,000 kilometers to Kairat Almaty to play this Champions League. A lot of travel has to be done, but no, it is Sporting CP who will be facing Kairat Almaty at home. They are quite lucky that they don't have to travel that long to face the first match day of the Champions League, and Sporting CP at home with the first time playing of Kairat Almaty. It will be definitely Sporting CP who will be get the lead, and 3-0, 4-0 straight in for Sporting CP. No denying the fact, at home, Sporting CP are going to definitely win that. And the last fixture for our predictions, my goodness, Newcastle United at St. James Park against the likes of Hansi Flick's Barcelona. Barcelona with the likes of Lamine Yamal. So many things are being said that the Spanish Federation has given some sort of painkillers to Lamine Yamal to play in those nations. I mean, the FIFA qualifiers which Lamine Yamal was playing, but the Spanish Federation has denied. But Hansi Flick has straight just batted the Spanish Federation, saying that Lamine Yamal was being given some sort of painkillers to play those matches, which was not even required for Lamine Yamal to be playing that. But Barcelona in their La Liga this past weekend has got that thumping super sub goals. Rafinha, Lewandowski, so many of them are doing the talking. But Xavi, Lamine Yamal, Marc-Andre ter Stegen, Daniel Rodriguez, Frankie de Jong, Alejandro Balde, these are the 6 men who won't be available. But at the St. James Park, Newcastle United won't be having Jacob RAMSAY. Will Newcastle United be with the likes of Walter Messi? He making it good against the likes of Hansi Flick's Barcelona without Lamine Yamal? This will also be the biggest clash. We are having the watch-alongs ready on our YouTube platform, and all the playlists have been created, the pictures which we will be having the watch-along. It is not possible to have the watch-along of all the pictures because so many matches are having at a time, but whatever matches we can afford to have the watch-along of this long schedule of the Champions League has been created on our YouTube platform. Just go and check on it. And this was our predictions for the match day 1 of the Champions League. What are your predictions and which team is going to win the match days? Do tell us in the comment section. Till then, UEFA Champions League is back and cut my dash into pieces. Will that happen again? It is going to happen. It is going to happen. Keep going, guys. Keep going.